Ladies and gentlemen of Knucklehead Nation, welcome to the Fighters Rep. And today we've got an interview with someone I'm really excited to be joined by. 185-pound title contender in just his first fight in the Lion's Den. None other than Jorilla Grant. Joe, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Hey, you know, one thing I had to comment on right off the bat, the Los Angeles sweater, man, is just
Mhm.
I don't know if you did that on purpose or you did that by accident. You know, just tell me a little bit about that.
This sweater, it was so cold out there, and this is the only sweater I have. I'm like, okay, I need to put this on right now. It's cold down here too right now, so I'm like, this is all I got right
Yeah. Well, in typical South Florida fashion, you know, we all
now.
have about one or two sweaters. That's pretty
Yeah,
much it. And,
that's
you know,
it.
Joe, I think it's interesting because we flew you out
Hmm.
from Miami all the way to Los Angeles to fight Cameron Spencer, who's now a 185-pound champ. It was a fantastic fight, man. And, you know, you're both kind of in a situation, in my opinion, where you two are some of the best 185 pounders in the country right now, as far as the amateur kickboxing ranks go, especially. And it's just hard to find you guys a fight. It's just hard. So I got to fly you guys coast to coast now. You know, tell me a little bit about, you know, how it's been as a 185-pound fighter, kind of looking for a fight right now.
It's scarce, man. It's scarce. The few 185-pound dudes, I had a down here already. I fought a good amount of them, and anybody else who is 185, they're kind of too fresh to fight me. You know, it wouldn't be fair. And so I'm just a lot of a lot of people say no. It's like I'm just out here waiting. And it's the only fight really. This is the only fight I could get for a while.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so it's
Well, we're
tough.
gonna keep
Really tough.
working at that. And you know, before we get into that whole experience, because you know, I thought you know you coming out there, pretty much having only one day to acclimate, right? I thought you put up a hell of a fight. That was a great fight, and we'll get into that. But you know, I kind of
Mhm.
wanted you to, you know, let the people out there know who don't know, kind of in a nutshell, man. Who is Jorilla Grant? What makes him tick, and what kind of got you into this fight stuff?
Um, I'm Jorilla. I'm a dad. Um, I'm a son. I'm a brother. And what got me into fighting, I just got beat up at somebody's gym. I didn't get beat up, but I got really tested at another gym. And since then, I was like, no, I want to be good at this. So I just been training ever since.
Yeah. And right now you're training at Komodo down there in South Florida. Am I right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Komodo
How
training.
long you been down there, Joe?
Um, 3+ years. I connected with my coach more than 5 years ago. But then I got back into this consistently, like I'll say maybe 3, 4 years ago.
Gotcha. Now you mentioned when we did the lead up to the fight between you and Cam, you know, you mentioned you your family basically comes from Jamaica. You were raised, I believe you said North Miami Beach.
Hmm.
Kind of tell me, you know, how that sort of affected your route to the fight game, if at all, how that played its part in your becoming a fighter.
I've been in a lot of fights. Growing up, North Miami Beach is like it's like it's I don't want to call it hood because there's places that are more hood than that, but
Yeah.
that place is pretty hood. I wouldn't want my kids really being raised the way I was raised. Um,
Yeah.
uh, we were fighting all the time after school. Fighting. Me and my brother fighting. Like it's just to the point that when I fight now, I'm just like it's just another fight. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But that kind of gives me the attitude I have when I do fight because it's not too far from what I've been around. So
Yeah. And you mentioned brothers. You know, how many brothers were we talking about? I'm sure there was a lot of infighting there as well.
I got one brother, and I never want to fight. I never want to fight. Maybe now because our weight difference is a lot. I'm bigger than him now.
Maybe now.
But even when I spar with him, the only person like if I ever spar really hard, the only person I'm okay going hard with is my brother.
Yeah.
Me and him, we got some unfinished business, man. Every time we spar, we get to it.
So your brother, he's a fighter as well. Am I right? Is it Howard?
Yes, Howard Grant. He's well, he fights at 55 and 65. So
Wow.
he's small to me now. So, but
Well, here's another guy. We're trying to get the lines that hopefully for the South Florida debut show. So we'll see,
mhm.
we'll see how that goes. But I mean, you guys used to fight around the house a lot, fight each other a lot.
This guy's a bully, man. I grew up with a bully. But
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
love. I mean, it's love, obviously. You know what I'm saying? But I that really molds who I am.
yeah, yeah. Well, me personally, my experience with people from Jamaica is, there's a huge emphasis on success, huge emphasis on education. My neighbors, she's Jamaican, she's a judge or and an attorney. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But they're also great at sports. And we've seen a couple of Jamaican combat sports fighters coming up as well. I think Leon Edwards.
Nice, sir.
I believe I want to say Glenn Johnson, the boxer. I want to say Glenn Johnson was Jamaican as well. Was there anything from your family telling you, no, what do you want to do this for? Like, why don't you go, become a doctor, become a lawyer, go do something else?
No, they don't. Nobody say anything to me about being no doctor. You know what I'm saying? They know I'm not really with that. But my mom doesn't want to come to any fights. She don't want to see no punching, no none of that. She want me to just tell her what happened after, and if I won, she would get excited like she was there. My dad doesn't like to see the fights. That he doesn't like that. I think that's a tough thing for any parent to watch their kid like just go battle. But they really don't. If I'm gonna do it, they want me to be good at it. So sometimes when I'm doing extra training at night, they'll watch the kids for me. So they want me to be good at whatever I do, so I could be safe as possible. But they want me to be good. They don't want me to be out there getting smacked down, and they don't want to see any of that.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that. And does it give you a sense of pride, right, knowing these world-renowned athletes like obviously Usain Bolt, everybody knows him, Leon Edwards specifically in combat sports, right, the man right now. And so on and so forth. I mean, does that give you a sense of pride? Even Aljamain Sterling, right? I mean, Aljamain Sterling is Jamaican American, I believe. Does that give you a sense of pride knowing that you're kind of your nationality, your group of people kind of made their way through the fight game, and you're coming up behind them?
Yeah, hell yeah. I feel like when they see the flag, they should assume that I'm not here to play. I got people who rep the flag before me who did some big things. So, I just want to keep that going, but definitely full of pride when I wear that flag.
Yeah. Well, I love it. And, what I wanted to talk to you next about, Joe, and before we get into that, guys, please subscribe to the channel, join the channel to help us build it. Follow the Jorilla at Jaggerific1 on Instagram, man. You're going to want to follow this guy's career. I'm telling you, one of the best 185 pounders in the country, and hell, maybe even in the world right now as far as the amateur ranks goes. Joe, what I wanted to talk to you about next was, your experience with the whole Fightersrep thing, the lead up at Fightersrep 20, the fight itself. I'm interested in it because, I know you didn't get the result you wanted, but it was a hell of a fight. We've never flown somebody out all the way from the East Coast. You were the first. I mean, we brought people in from different states, but nobody from that far out coming over, trying to acclimate to the change in time, in hostile territory. Kind of, take me through it, how you felt about the entire experience.
I felt good, man. I mean, from the moment I got there, even the person I fought, he was cool with me. His coach was cool with me. Like the vibes were cool. It just really felt kind of hostile when there was a time to actually fight, because everybody in that crowd is not for me. You know what I'm saying? There's nobody. So that's might be the toughest part, but I enjoyed it. The Fightersrep was dope. Even talking to the other fighters the day before, they were cool. I had a good time. I enjoyed it, and they showed me love. And I mean, I don't say love, but they showed me like a good amount of respect, and that's all I could ask for. I'm cool with that.
Yeah. Did you feel like culturally, were the fighters over on the West Coast more respectful than what you've dealt with here on the East Coast? I mean, were there any differences that you felt at all?
Uh, no, no. I mean, towards me, people are usually respectful towards me, so I don't really. You know what I'm saying? It's about the same. It's just that I don't know
Or they
anybody.
might catch a deep to the chest if not, right?
Yeah, that's my favorite move, man. Damn. Um, but yeah, they were. Everybody here was very respectful. I enjoyed the experience. I was cool with people before they fought.
Mhm.
Everybody in the back was sharing. Can I get that chair? Here you go. You know what I'm saying? It was vibing. It was
Yeah.
cool. It was about the
Yeah.
same thing here as well. Um, yeah, about the same.
Nice, nice. So the other thing is, besides the Los Angeles souvenir sweater, which is, probably the only sweater you're going to need living down here in South Florida, how was the experience going out to LA? I know you'd never even been out there, man. I think that kind of adds to, the pressure and the nervousness, but it's also an amazing experience, right? To be able to, get around through fighting and see things that you've never seen before.
Yeah, fighting brought me over there, but the flight over there was horrible. I was cutting from the night before. I'm trying to get that weight down. I'm in a
Yeah.
sauna suit on the airplane. Everybody's sleeping. I'm in this chair. I can't sleep because I'm so dehydrated. So it wasn't really a pleasant experience and leading up, but all around me was okay. It was cool. Like, I'm glad fighting brought me to Los Angeles because I don't know when I was gonna come out here. I mean, could go out there, but and it was dope, especially after like getting the views, going out. I'll be out there again. Yeah.
So you had a good time all in all.
hmm
Now about the fight, I wanted to ask you about the fight. You mentioned, cutting weight on the plane. It's like a 5-hour flight. That's a crazy flight, and I can imagine going through that on the flight was a little bit difficult.
hmm
Did you feel, your performance was affected? Did you feel a little bit different? Did you wish you had a little more time maybe to acclimate with the change in time? I mean, did you feel like anything kind of threw you off a bit?
Um, I could say the weight cut. I could say the weight cut. Like I was in that sauna for like 4 hours. It was so bad that one time when I was at a LA Fitness in the sauna, I got out the sauna and walked to the bathroom. I went to the wrong bathroom. Like
Oh my
that's
gosh.
like it was the fight before the fight is really tough. The
Yeah.
fight is okay, but that fight before the fight, that's the stuff. That's the part that really tests you. That really like. So it wasn't as easy and as smooth. I've had weight cuts where it was like, okay, I'm already there. Boom. This weight cut was a little bit tougher. I wanted to get here at a certain time or get there at a certain time. I wanted to cut that weight, um, but I'm already starting it dehydrated already. So it was tough. It was tough.
Yeah.
But I really can't blame anything on that. I felt
Right.
usually you want to get back to when it's time to fight, you want to feel good again, and I felt okay. I didn't have any like little cramps going on. I felt hydrated. I felt ready. I felt good. So,
Nice.
mhm,
Nice, nice. And I wanted to ask you, for future reference and for people that maybe, coming over to fight at some
mhm,
point, whether it's, our Florida shows, which God willing we're going to be doing this year,
mhm,
or LA shows, if they're going to be coming across the country from another state, is
mhm.
there any advice that you would give them? Is there anything you would have done differently now that you've gone through that experience?
I think the biggest thing is you want to get there as early as possible so you can take your time and cut. Um, and then you also want to know what your accommodations are going to be like. Let's say the hotel room that we're in. If I would have known that it was going to have a bathtub, I would have just soaked all that off instead of the sauna. The sauna's tough,
I
but you
see.
could
I
sit in
see.
the tub. Somehow, you got to just plan it properly. Plan it properly. Know everything you need to know before you do it, and before you get there, and try to make the cut as smooth as possible. Because you're already gonna have to deal with the time change and this and that. Like just so I guess do your research as much as possible so when you get there, it could be smooth for you.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it was an exciting fight, man. The crowd I thought was going pretty crazy in there.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, typically these fights in the winter time, it's not as lively as they are, throughout the rest of the
Mm-hmm.
year. But it was a pretty lively crowd, man. It was a lot of excitement. People were screaming. Obviously, a lot of them were for Cameron. Obviously, he was the hometown guy.
Mhm.
But, I felt like you made some fans in there as well. How was the actual fight itself for you? And then afterwards, did you notice that you made some fans? Because I had a lot of people come up to me to compliment you.
Man, after the fight, I can't really remember anything. I do remember one of his teammates came to me and like I'm not sure to say he congratulated me, but he dapped me up and gave me some major respect. But after that, I just zoomed back to the back and just like But I didn't see any fans. I didn't feel like I had fans.
Yeah.
I just know that nobody was there for me. If I got a
Yeah.
fan, I'll shake every fan I had. Like, thank you. But I felt like I was in somebody else's territory, and
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
expected it to be like.
Yeah, yeah. No, you definitely were. You definitely were. I guess what I'm saying is afterwards, and during while you were even walking to the ring, I saw a couple people. It was as almost if you had kind of like won them over. They were like, "Oh man,
Mhm.
this guy's tough." I even had I think it was a judge or a referee come up to me afterwards and be like, "Man, that guy was tough. Where'd you find that guy?" I said, "Hey, I found the guy down in Miami."
Oh man, this is news to me. That's
Yeah.
tough stuff that
Yeah,
uh,
yeah. So that's
makes me feel
definitely cool. And,
good.
and the fight itself, did it play out the way you thought? I mean, how did the fight play out to you? Because again, I thought it was a pretty close fight. I thought it was
Mhm.
closer than what the cards
But I'm
demonstrated.
saying them cars, you don't ever want to be a sore loser when you don't want to be like, "Man, what the," when they tell you you lose or whatever the score is, you don't want to be that one crying about no, that I don't want to object. I'm like, okay, that's what y'all say. Okay, I respect that. Back to the
Yeah.
drawing board. I didn't think it was gonna be like a wash like that. That's tough to me. But yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that. I'll take
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. No, I thought it was a good fight. I thought it was a close fight. I mean, how did you find the fight yourself? I mean, did you think Cam was a pretty tough guy? I mean, what did you think about Cameron? Because essentially, to me, I mean, you guys are a couple of the best guys at 185. I think at some point you guys are going to have to meet again if you
Mm-hmm,
guys continue to do this, which I think you're both pretty serious about this. So,
mm-hmm.
so what are your thoughts on Cam and the fight and what you could have done different, maybe?
Um, it was a good fight. This guy, I enjoyed fighting. I enjoy a good fight, man. Like that's where I'm at. I can always appreciate a good war, and that's what I felt like it was.
Yeah.
Cam, this guy don't got no emotions. Like I cannot. It it the when he happy and he sad, he got the same face. That's it, bro.
Right,
You know what
right,
I'm saying?
right.
Um, there was a picture I saw of him smiling, and I said, "Oh wow, this man, he got teeth." You know what I'm saying? Like that's cool, man. But he was tough, and if I ever heard him, I would never know. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He's also good with that, so that's a good thing about that. Um, yeah, man, he was tough. He was taller. I didn't think he was gonna be that much taller than me, but he was pretty tall. When we
Yeah.
got in there, and yeah, he was
I
he
know.
was. I got only respect for him.
Yeah, yeah. No, respect for the two of you, man. You guys put on a hell of a show. I thought that was a very worthy main event. I mean, I thought that main event for me was the best fight of the night. I thought it was a lot of fun watching that fight.
I didn't even
I wa-
know that was the main event for real. I thought there was, how sometimes they have co-main events and stuff like that. I thought there was, I just thought we were maybe one of four type of thing. I
I
didn't know
see.
that was the main. That's dope too, but I did not know.
Yeah, yeah. I thought it would be very exciting because we'd have, the hometown guy against this dude from Miami. Like,
Hmm.
looks like both guys look like beasts, but this dude from
Hmm.
Miami looks like a beast too. Let's put them
Hmm.
against each other. It was almost like a hometown versus away, like an exciting football or soccer game or
Yeah,
something
I
like
see. I
that.
see
So I
what you
thought,
did. I see what you did there. I see what y'all did there. I see. I see. It's dope. Damn.
yeah, yeah, it was a lot of fun. I mean, maybe in the future, we fly him out here to fight you on your home
Yeah. So
territory.
he can figure out, so he can get that feeling. Damn, nobody out here is for you. You know what I'm saying? You might have somebody here, but
Yeah, yeah.
everybody's screaming at you like you stole something, man. But yeah, it was a dope, man. It was a dope experience. It was a dope fight. It was I'm not upset about anything. It's just straight respect. That's it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now, let me ask you, Joe, what's next for you, man? Like, what are you trying to get into next? Do you want to continue the kickboxing and the striking career? Are you looking at MMA? What are you looking to do with your future?
Yeah, I'm not looking at MMA. People, man, everybody is they love the MMA thing. Like,
I know. I don't like that either. I don't like that either.
I'll roll. Like sometimes at my gym we roll, but that's if my coach said we rolling, I might walk out because I'm not. I would do it, but that's not really my thing. I have zero passion for any of that. I like to stand up and just let's get it. So
Yeah.
all I want to do is strike, or stand up and strike, and I'm just trying to fight as much as possible. It's hard in this environment because a lot of promotions when they ask people who are 185, they say no. People say no to fighting me. Down here, they say no a lot.
I know
So
how it is, man. Trust me. I
it's,
know
it's,
how it
it's,
is.
it's crazy for a sport where you're supposed to have some balls to do it. It's like dang, there's no balls in the sport. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, yeah.
I don't walk around. I don't have any fear of losing. You don't want to get knocked out. I might say I might have a fear of getting knocked out and embarrassed like that, but more about the embarrassment part. But I'm ready to go. If somebody looks like they're gonna be a hard time, like damn, let's get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I don't think that's a common thing. Like, it's not common. I mean, it's kind of sad that I have to fly to California. You know what I'm saying? I'm down here. I'm just trying to fight. If I could fight every weekend, I would do that. Just because
Yeah.
I know a year doing that, I'm gonna be better.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I agree 100%. And, I'm hoping to kind of continue. I'll be honest, I'm hoping to continue to promote you and kind of change the culture a little bit for you and for the rest of the guys because that's happening a lot, man. I mean, I have guys that, tell me, no, I don't want to fight. And it's just, I don't want to fight that guy or I don't want to fight this guy, and for me, that's not somebody I want to work with. You know what I mean? If
Yeah.
soon as somebody turns down a fight, especially if it's somebody like I understand if it's someone way more experienced, which I wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
even offer that fight in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's someone with around the same experience, man, I mean, what are we doing here, especially at the amateur level? Like, what
Yeah.
are we
Yeah.
doing here?
Yeah.
So much respect to that, man. Um, how was your New Year, and what's your New Year's resolution for the Jorilla?
My New Year's was straight. I really ain't do anything. I got these two kids, man. They out here draining me of all my energy. These two girls, all they do is cry and just want their nails painted. It's tough out
I
here, man.
get it. I get it.
But my New Year's resolution is just keep fighting. I'm working on some business outside of fighting. Like my plan is that if I ever go pro, I don't even want to need the pro money. I don't want to need that money. I want to go pro and it just be all right. I'm fighting because I love fighting. So I'm just trying to provide for myself and my future and my kids, and so I don't really have anything except keep grinding. Like that's it. That's
Yeah.
what I'm keep grinding. Get to it. Get to it.
Well, Joe, I love to hear all of that, especially love to hear that you're not interested in going towards MMA. You want to stick it out in the striking game. I mean, I think it takes, I think that's the kind of dedication it's going to take to get this sport, kickboxing or Muay Thai or all the striking sports to that next level. I feel like they've gone up a lot recently, right? I mean, what do you think about besides us, obviously, I mean, ONE FC and, I feel like ONE FC really is like putting the striking kind of back on the map, especially out there
Yeah,
in Asia. They're doing a good
yeah.
job.
They're doing it, man. They're doing it. I hope it I hope it builds up a bigger crowd. Every time you talk to someone about fighting, they talk about MMA. So I'm glad for stuff like that. Because it might attract more people to do stand up. I know you guys are not Muay Thai, but it might bring more people to kickboxing and Muay Thai. At least it was kind of close enough.
Yeah. No, I agree 100%, man. Listen, we're super excited to continue to promote you, man. I mean, it's like you said, it's so hard to find fighters at 185 that are talented
Mhm.
and down to fight pretty much anyone. And you're a guy like that. Cameron Spencer's a guy like that. His former opponent, Raymond Martinez, former 185-pound champion at Fightersrep, was also like that. We're hoping to get him back at some point. And, I really think, like, for me, this division is almost like it can become like the darling division, kind of the way the light heavyweight was with the UFC, how everybody wanted to watch 205, John Jones and Shogun and Lyoto Machida and these people. So I feel like your division, can become that thing. And you've indicated to me as well, you could fight at 205. I mean, it doesn't, or 200 doesn't seem like that would be a problem for you.
Yeah, that'll be easy, actually. I only fight at 185 because there's usually more people at 185. At 205, it's like, that's not even the average person's weight. You know what I'm saying? That's far off the average man's weight.
I agree. I wish I could say that about myself, but you're right.
You're above average. That's good. You're above average.
But you're right about that, Big Joe. Well, listen, man, I really appreciate your time today, man. Let me tell you, just from a promoter, as far as professionalism goes, as far as just interacting with you and Coach Darwin, it's been just absolutely amazing. You guys gave me no issues, man. And very professional, made weight coming across the country, fought after having only a day to acclimate, put on a hell of a fight that I thought was a great fight, fought for a title. And I really, I can't do nothing but sing your praises, man. So I hope to, continue to work with all of you guys, including your brother, I hope too.
Yes, sir. Let's get it.
Covered up here, Is there anything, before I let you go, is there anything you want to say to just anybody, potential sponsors, people that have helped you along the way? And by the way, guys, reach out to him at Jaggerific1, or to me if you'd like at Fighters Rep, if you want to sponsor Joe, because these fighters coming out of pocket right now, man, and they could definitely always use your help. So feel free to jump up and sponsor. Go ahead, Joe. The floor is yours, brother.
Oh, appreciate it. I don't know too much about the sponsor game. I just know I want to just express my ultimate appreciation to Fightersrep for bringing me out there, showing me love. All the fighters that I met, even the fighter that I fought, I appreciate the respect and to be soldiers with other people. I just want to shout out everyone who played a role in me getting here. Komodo Training Center, Darwin. I couldn't do these things without them, So I just want to express true love and gratitude.
Well, I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, 185-pound contender, Joseph Jorilla Grant. Give him a follow, and we'll catch you guys soon. Subscribe to the channel. We'll talk soon. Thank you so much for that, Joe. I really appreciate it, man.
No problem. Thank you.